The first of the other two language models that you could use is Bard. Now, Bard is currently experimental. It's a language model from Google. To access Bard, you need to type into your browser bard.google.com. Then from there, follow the necessary steps to sign up and log in. Once you've done this, you'll be greeted by this user interface, which is extremely similar to GPT's user interface. And what I want to do is use the exact same prompt that we used in GPT-4 in Bard, and let's see some of the results. Give me 25 sub niches in the wealth niche and hit enter. The response time for that seemed slow. However, I believe it's relatively the same as GPT-4, whereas GPT-4 tends to type the response. With Bard, you get the response in one bulk message. As you may have noticed, the responses given by Bard are actually quite different from GPT-4, which almost makes me want to say, any of you in the Performance Creator Bootcamp, ensure that you also use Bard. You may find a sub niche that is more interesting on Bard than GPT-4. So for example, we have men's wealth. And again, in a very similar fashion to what we did on GPT-4, I'm going to go ahead and try and identify another 25 sub niches in the men's wealth niche. So as you can see here, I've just written out the same prompt. Give me 25 sub niches in the men's wealth niche. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and let's see the results for this particular niche. Again, G's, I'm just going to reiterate, do not follow the niches that I am going through in these examples. Make sure you choose a umbrella niche that you have an affinity to. And as you continue to go down this funnel of identifying a niche, make sure it is truly resonant to yourself, something that you see yourself wanting to create content for. Bard does a relatively good job at giving me another 25 sub niches. And I guess from here, I would probably pick men's Gen Z money, which is extremely relevant to a lot of the young kings watching this. Okay, with that being said, the second language model that you can also look into is Bing's version of GPT. So let's go ahead and move over to this language model. In order to access Bing's chat function, you want to go ahead and go over to Bing, which you can access by typing in your browser bing.com. Once you go to bing.com, you'll be greeted by this user interface. And as you can see over on the left-hand side, we have the option to click on chat. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. This now will open this user face that you're greeted by, and in a very similar manner to how Bard functions and GPT, you just need to type in your prompt and you will get your answer. However, one of the features within Bing is you can choose the type of conversation style you have with the language model. Okay, so Bing's gone ahead and recognized the prompt that we've asked for. However, for some reason, it's taken out the 25 sub niches and instead it's searching for sub niches in the wealth niche. And as a result, we've only been given a few niches within the wealth niche. Also, the niches that we've been given are relatively well known. So let's go ahead and click on more creative and ask the exact same question. Give me 25 sub niches in the wealth niche. So with the creative response function enabled, Bing actually does a much better job. And on top of that, I seem to be getting a lot more niches. However, with that being said, out of the three language models, I highly recommend you use GPT as a starting point and then follow the exact same process on Bard and make sure you identify a niche for yourself. Of course, you can go ahead and use Microsoft Bing's creative response function because you do actually find some pretty cool niches such as wealth philanthropy. However, for the most part of it, these are niches that we are super familiar with. But for the sake of learning, let's take wealth philanthropy. I'm going to ask Bing to give me 25 sub niches in the wealth philanthropy niche. Hit enter and let's see where this takes us. So we've got options such as climate change, human rights, animal welfare, global health, education, poverty alleviation, all sorts of great stuff. So with all that being said, I want you to go ahead and find your niche for day one of the Performance Creator Bootcamp.